at the end of the day, if you just want the money, you won't make it as far as you think you will, because trading is a lot more than just the money. So it really depends. I guess a lot of people do like to work on themselves, and they really enjoy the grind. So if you can really enjoy the grind and you're that type of person, you'll like trading. If you want fast results, or you want to finish university and get a job right away, it's not exactly how it works.
Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of the Pulling Profits podcast. Today, we have a special guest. He is a friend of mine from my hometown, someone that I actually grew up with. He's also an admin in my trading community for CPA. This is Brayden. Brayden, welcome.
Hello, hello, thank you.
Yeah, man, no worries, no worries. I thought I'd have you on, let people get to know you a little bit. You're going to be one of many admins in my group that I do one of these interviews for. I feel like you have a couple things you could share that would help any new and upcoming traders, a little bit of advice, some questions we could run through.
Yeah,
So
cool.
how did you get into trading Forex, and what's your life kind of like for you right now, incorporating trading into your schedule?
So starting into Forex, it was kind of a funny story actually. I didn't really have too much going on. I was probably 18 years old, 19 years old. And I was sitting down in the barber shop. Guy right next to me was like, "Yo, I made 80K in a couple days and I only risked 2K." And I was like, "Here we go again, I am Academy or whatever it's called." Like, I'm like, he's about to get me, right?
Multi-level
So showed
marketing,
me the
yeah.
phone. Yeah, I thought he was about to get me. And then he showed me the phone, and it was a live account. He was on Oanda, and he had placed some insane trade off of a 2K account, and he was up 80. And I was like, okay, okay, let me see. So I went home, and like any normal person, I looked up Mamba FX and Q Banks,
Mhm.
and then I started from there. The Swaggy C journey. I didn't really learn from them, but that was definitely like where I started, and my first thoughts on Forex was, yeah, very much Mamba FX style.
It was seeing those crazy numbers that people were pulling, right? That's what enticed you into trading. You thought it would be easy,
Yeah.
something you could do overnight, passive income, trade wherever you want, right?
I thought I was riding around in an AMG first year for sure. Yeah, I thought I was that $100 I had that day I left the barbershop. I thought I was next up. So, yeah,
Yeah. No, that seems to be like the problem with this industry is no one's very transparent about the losses that you're gonna take, the
yeah,
psychological taxing things that you gotta get over. The journey is real and not a lot of people preach about it. So I'm not surprised that you got enticed like in that way because it's how most people get into trading, right? That's good, man. That's good that you're still here for the journey. You're still sticking around even through the losses, right?
yeah, yeah. That's what it's about, really. Yeah,
So how would you describe your trading style for the people out there?
been through it all. I'd say now I'm mostly price action. No indicators at all. I'll use a Fibonacci tool. And that's about it. That's strictly about it. I come in every day, 9:30 a.m. I only trade New York. And then yeah, I'm done by lunchtime. So like 12 p.m. I'm out of there. If I was to open up a chart right now, you'd see a couple lines and a Fibonacci. That's about it.
Okay, so you keep your charts relatively clean. You're in and out beginning towards the end of New York session. Are there any pairs that you prefer to trade?
Yeah, I'm a US 30 guy. I completely stepped away from forex for now. I'm just going indices. See me on gold sometimes, but yeah, strictly US 30 mainly.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, I love gold, bro. You know this. I trade gold a lot. So, New York session trader. So you're probably intraday, right? You focus on day trading, not so much swing.
Yeah, it's even scalping like some more. It really depends on how quick my profit target will get hit.
Mm,
So I don't really set profit targets, but like my level will get hit. Like I'll have a TP level, and I'll take it right there. It could get hit in 30 seconds, or it could take 45 minutes, an hour. So so it kind of changes day to day. But yeah, usually within the session, I'm complete.
okay, cool. That makes sense. Are you doing anything outside of trading? Are you in school for anything?
Yeah, actually, the whole time I was learning and starting, and well, always learning, but the whole time I was starting, I was in school and working part time too. So, taking IT out of college here in Ottawa, Algonquin College, and then I work for a nonprofit right now doing IT. I think beginning at the time I was working for TD Bank when I had first started, so I was kind of mixing it into the schedule there. Um, Trading all sorts of times of the day because you're busy and you just got to fit it in. So
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's hard
yeah,
to get like a grasp on what session kind of fits your schedule best in the beginning if you're doing day trading, but
yeah,
that's where that trial and error comes in, right?
yeah.
So how would you say you balance your schoolwork with trading and managing time? You just stick to one session specifically, or
Yeah, it was a lot of trial and error. I'd say eventually it comes down to who you are as a person to kind of pick and what choose what works for you. Personally, just sticking to New York allowed me to kind of spend like an hour or so, just looking and marking up the charts in the morning, setting stuff up, and then I can kind of just cruise on with the rest of the day, and I don't have to worry about it. So coming down to that was kind of what allowed me to fit everything into my day. If I was still trading, Asia plus New York plus Sydney, etc., I wouldn't be able to go to school and work, not productively at least. So
mm, yeah, because it is taxing, right? They say that our brains are only built to make one or two major decisions per day, right? So if you're
yeah,
trading more than one session, it can get a little difficult. I hear where you're coming from. So that's good. You're able to fit, trading into your schedule. A lot of people, they tell me that they don't want to get into trading because it's something that is going to take too long for them to learn. They don't have the time. You know what I mean? Typical
yeah,
excuses, right? But me
typical.
personally, I believe like it's a really lucrative skill set, and it not
Yep.
only teaches you how to like make money, obviously through your trading, but also good times to invest, right? Were there any books that you read that stand out in your mind that would kind of help anyone new that's trying to get into trading?
Books. I didn't read any books specifically. I was not a book reader type of guy. Um, I think I shied away more from the books and gravitated more towards psychology help. So, in whatever way that was, whether that be through reading articles or through watching videos, etc., I felt like that just helped me more than reading like books about trading or about the trading life, etc.
Okay, so you're probably like a more visual, auditory kind of person. You prefer like
Yeah,
the videos, right?
I think I'd rather just close my eyes and hear it in my head and hear it be spoken to me than to read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Sometimes it's hard to open a book and read it front to back. It gets boring after a while. But
Yeah.
were there any like videos specifically that you remember helping you a lot with psychology, like Mark Douglas?
I'd say the best ones that helped me were like the real videos. So I mean, you have retail videos, of course, and such, trying to entice the crowd and show them the money you can make and etc. Yeah, like the Mamba effects. No hits, but like yeah, the Mamba effects. But it's like when you step into more of like the Ment effects domain, ICT, just stuff like that. I know there's a guy named Jora FX. He does it really well too. But they focus a lot on why you're losing. Watching those videos helped me and encouraged me way more than watching someone make 20,000 in a couple days. Even though I know it's possible, uh, I'd rather just know why I'm losing and how to fix it rather than just knowing that the money is there because the money will always be there.
You're right. I find like the inspirational profit videos are cool in the beginning, but then you get to a point in your trading where you're like, okay, I have a strategy. I may have taken a course or I'm following somebody's teachings, and I'm at a point where I need a little bit more than just motivation. I need advice on what to do when I keep making the same mistakes, right? When I hit these psychological barriers, there's certain content that's better than others, right? And I'm totally with you when you say that MentaFX helped you out a lot. I can attest to that. I did take his mentorship, and I do highly recommend him as a mentor. And some free content out there for people if you're new and you're trying to get into the SMC style of trading. But 100%, I definitely agree with you there. What's your opinion on taking trading signals? Why do you think people who take signals still can't achieve profitability?
See, signals is very tricky because there's levels to signals. So I mean, it's a lucrative market in terms of actually selling them and taking them. You can make money. Absolutely, absolutely. It really depends on who you take them from and how you take them. But I say it like this: you're either just a signal taker that just places random trades, or you're a signal taker and a risk manager. So if you can also manage your risks while taking signals, I guess you could kind of find profitability, but it won't be your own profitability. So let's say, God forbid, something was to ever happen to someone selling you signals, it's like you're at base one all over again. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like it's a lot to kind of sit there and rely on them day in and day out. And when you lose, you don't know why you lost too. So it's kind of just almost like going to the casino, I'd say.
Yeah, kind of is, eh? When you say it like that, I remember running a signal service for a couple months, and we ended up profitable. I think we were up like 12%, 8% over the span of 2 3 months. But I had some people in that group that kind of opened my eyes to the signal service world, and I'm like, this isn't
Yeah,
how I want my brand to be represented, because
yeah,
there's like it's a double-edged sword. Signals, man. You can get like a ton of traction for sure, but there's always going to be people in those groups that are like super negative. They don't manage their risk, like you said, and they have high expectations. They don't have skin in the game to understand that, losses are actually usually more than part of the journey. Most traders lose more than they win. Some still end up profitable, right, based on risk to reward, but
it is. Yeah, it's a good business model because like people do buy them very often. So, but as of taking them, I wouldn't personally. But that's me.
so, with that said, do you think that trading is for anyone and everyone, or only certain personality types?
I think that you can definitely train yourself to be a good trader and to be a good risk manager, and to you can definitely develop your mind and work on your skills to become better. But it's about what you want to be. So at the end of the day, if you just want the money, you won't make it as far as you think you will, because trading is a lot more than just the money. So it really depends. I guess a lot of people do like to work on themselves, and they really enjoy the grind. So if you can really enjoy the grind and you're that type of person, you'll like trading. If you want fast results, or you want to finish university and get a job right away, it's not exactly how it works.
Like, there's no timeline on when you're gonna achieve profitability, right? I have like there's one guy in our group that I'm helping out, and he's been trading for 7 years, unprofitable, and he's deep
Yeah.
in it. You know what I mean? And it's just like
Yeah.
there's no timeline to give someone. It's all about the self work that you're gonna do. Yeah, it's definitely, it depends on the person for sure.
If you
So
do it right, you definitely notice positive changes in yourself. So I'll say that.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you do it right, because it's a lot of self improvement that's required, right?
Yeah, it is.
So, what are the biggest mistakes that you kept making along your journey that you try not to repeat?
Even to this day, I'll say holding my trades to the maximum potential is probably the one thing that I'm working on still, that like I'm focused every day on. And I make sure that I'm always just trying to improve that, trying to make sure that I am maximizing on my ideas, because there is ideas every day. It's just how do you maximize on them? How do you do them? Some people can draw out 1 to 20s every day, but they close out at 1 to 1,
Right.
right? So I do like to focus on maximizing my opportunities. One thing that did hang with me for a little while was making sure I do risk the same amount consistently all the time, because I would have like a good week or two, and then there would be one just brutal day, and it would just destroy you down and take you maybe a week and a half behind.
Mm-hmm.
And that week and a half behind in itself is a problem. But then there's also the mental stuff that comes along with now being a week and a half behind. So climbing over that and making sure that my risk was 100% on point, that was probably my long-term goal before getting to where I am now.
So, when you said risk the same, are you risking a fixed dollar amount of your account or using percentages?
So that changed a couple times. I think it really depends on my goal and how big the account is. So on a smaller account, I'm more likely to just risk a dollar amount until I get to a certain, like, let's say I started with $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably just risk a dollar amount, like 50 or whatever, like not much, but just enough to continue to grow it. If I had 10,000, I'm gonna start. Okay, I'm 1%. I don't need to risk a fixed dollar amount. I want to grow now. So when it's time to start growing, I think more in percentages. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's the thing you're trying to correct is something that is kind of like a good mistake, right? So taking profits a little too early, you're still taking good profits, but you're taking profits a little too early. You're saying you're trying to maximize your trades, right? Yeah, that's a.
Yeah,
I'd say that's a good mistake, because it's not the kind of mistake that compounds losses. It's the kind of mistake that you're kind of capping your profit potential, right? An example of like a bad mistake that I had trouble with in my journey was constantly entering and exiting positions. I'm sitting, price is dancing at an order block, and I'm making the mistake of watching price develop in my point of interest when I shouldn't be, right?
yeah,
Constantly exiting, constantly entering. That's when the commissions start to eat up your account, and you don't want to get into that habit, right?
yeah, yeah. That's the worst part. I'd say not even just that, but like you're ruining your set day amount that you set to risk by closing those trades, and it hurts even more when you do that, and it just completely destroys in your direction. And now you're like, wow, I closed that out 20 minutes ago. You know, so
Yeah, bro. I honestly, I still battle myself sometimes with that, but it hasn't been that bad. This year has been really good. My number one suggestion to people that struggle with that is to set alerts and close the damn charts.
yeah, close the chart. Like just go do something else. Yeah,
Yeah, 100%,
yeah.
man. It's good to have hobbies outside of trading. I know
Oh yeah.
you're a gamer just like me. We have our distractions.
Yeah.
So we close our trading view, we hop on League of Legends or whatever we're playing, and we just
Yep.
distract ourselves until that alert gets hit, right?
Yeah, those are probably my best winning days. You know, the days where I just place the trade and I'm already in a match or something. Because that's when greatness can happen. When I'm watching the chart, you know, I'm the guy who stops greatness. So
Yeah, bro. Self sabotage is real when you watch the chart develop, man.
yeah, I think I know it all and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. If you had to choose one, would you rather trade funded capital or personal capital?
I probably trade personal. I think there's just the freedom in it because you can trade it the same way as funded if you want, and once you get it to that amount, it's just like I guess. And some things that I hear too is that some people they get so limited in their mindset, so it's kind of like they have something in the back of their mind telling them, no, you can't turn that 1,000 to 10,000. Like it is very possible, and it will turn to 10,000. It's just that it's not going to happen how you expect it to. Once you can start getting over that, it's kind of like yeah, you know, I'd rather just trade my live and then whatever I start with, as long as I'm compounding and I'm keep putting in more money and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
long term, I'll be a lot more happy than trading someone else's capital that, you know, has such tight rules because the rules on funded accounts are pretty crazy.
Yeah, they are pretty tight, man. We had recently a new guy join the Discord, and I was trying to explain to him that sometimes putting the funded route on a pedestal is not what you want to do right off the bat. And I tell
Yep.
people this constantly. I'm like, majority of you guys that are coming into this trading space right now, you're working a 9 to 5, and you're looking for some additional income on the side, right? And
Yep.
a lot of them have their eyes fixed on these challenges when I'm telling them the number one thing you want to do first is become profitable on demo, and then
Yep.
two, become profitable on a small live account. See what you can do growing that. And then
Yep.
three, what you should really, really aim to do is reinvest chunks of your income on the side from your job or whatever into that account, compound it over time, and then you can look to get into challenges after that,
Yep.
right? It just makes
Easily.
sense, right? You pay for your challenges through profits from the market, and it
Yep.
doesn't become such a burden when you start losing your challenges, right? You have them hooked up to a
Yeah.
trade copier, everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's a big mental game once you start playing with the only money that you have. So, and that's probably one of the other things that sets people pretty far behind is they're not financially set up to be risking the money that they are risking. So I guess yeah, growing yourself on a live account, becoming confident in that account, that's definitely a good way, a better way even to go about trading. Yeah.
Yeah, man, 100%. I remember I went through that phase where I was taking my additional income from my, you know, time spent in my 9 to 5 working, and I was blowing challenges with that money when, realistically, if I had a good week, I could have actually made and kept money on my personal account.
It could be a savings account too. Like it doesn't have to be a everyday trade, everyday lose money, make money account. Like
Hmm.
you can put your money in there and like take one trade a week, two trades a week, whatever, until you're happy with the number you're at, and then start going crazy. You know, it's all about who you are and what you can do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's psychologically a lot easier when you're watching your balance grow and you're treating it like a savings account, right?
It kind of makes you not even want to place. Like I personally, I find myself, I don't even want to put money into the S&P because I can S&P my own account. So
Right. You
I'll
already
just like,
know what to do
yeah,
to make it bounce, right? You don't have
yeah,
to blindly put your money into that. So I'm not saying it's a
yeah.
bad investment, right? It's a very safe investment. However, with very safe investments come very low returns, low
Yeah.
yields, right? And once you understand the skill set, 5-10% a month is very doable.
Very doable, very doable, and I'd say it's achievable to the point that at least 60% of the traders I've come across should be able to do it. I'd say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 100%. You just gotta conquer this bad boy in here.
Yeah, that's all it is. All it is conquering it.
How important do you think backtesting and journaling is, and why do you think 90% of the new guys they tend to avoid doing it?
Honestly, it's probably one of the most important parts of your trading. It's like you can do whatever you want before that. You can become a wizard for all I care. But until you start to write down stuff and really examine your losses, because that's what it's about. Like examining your losses and then seeing all of your winners combined as to what they equal to, and then you can kind of get a sense as who you are as a trader. So, if you're hitting 1 to 3s on average, and then every once a week you're blowing out 6% or something like that. Now you can look back and you can look over time and see what's happening on that one day and why is it happening.
Okay, you're going wrong somewhere, but how can you know where you're going wrong if you're not tracking it? How are you gonna know what pair you trade best? How are you gonna know what time you trade best? How are you gonna know when you're gonna take profits the most, right? Like some
Yeah,
people, they use their
exactly.
data to tell them that a 1 to 2 is their best risk to reward that they prefer. Everyone's different, but the data is what's going to tell you what's going on with your trading. There's no way to know otherwise. You're not going to be able to just have a feeling with it, right? You just want to have some data to support that.
It's just too important, the data. Yeah, it's if you're ever placing trades whenever you are and you have questions for yourself that you can't answer, it's because you didn't go through enough data to answer those questions for yourself. So
100%, I agree. Yeah. Who were some people in the trading space that really helped you get a better understanding of, how to approach the markets? I know you mentioned MentFX.
yeah, shout out MentFX Anton. That guy goes crazy, insane. Of course, you Maverick Group, everyone from Ottawa. It was real nice to have people in person to be able to bounce ideas off of and get corrected by. I do want to say thank you to Mamba FX and Swaggy C and those guys for the confidence.
Yeah.
I'd say in what it is, because without them, I wouldn't see the end goal completely. But after that, I'm just limiting it to, yeah, it was meant to fix and you guys really. Besides that, it's just the grind. It's just about where you want to be in the end. So
Yeah, 100%, man. The motivational stuff goes a long way, but like when you start getting deep into it, like we said earlier, when you start really giving a shit about psychology, that's when you're gonna look for someone who really knows the struggles, who has battle scars. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Like I stopped looking around for multiple sources, and then it became okay. It's me doing my studies, trying to become a better trader. When I'm having an off time, I'll go watch one MentFX video. That'll just kick me right back into shape, So it's not an everyday I'm watching videos, but when I do need someone to talk to specifically, I put on the video so they're talking to me. I
Mm.
just sit there and listen and watch, and then eventually you'll find something that kicks in, and you're like, oh, that's what I wasn't doing. Oh, this is what I need to do. So
Yeah, yeah, that's funny you said that. I remember when I was going through my phase of like just going through every piece of content I could possibly. I
yeah,
remember, like you said, you could have like a 45-minute video and none of it speaks to you except for one little 2-minute segment. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
that's what I needed to hear. That's exactly what I needed to hear. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
those are my favorite parts, and I'll always finish those long videos now for that reason. I know it's in there somewhere, and half the time I'll probably be looking at my screen over there or something, but it's like I'll hear it, and then when I hear it, I'm like, okay, nah, I need to pay attention.
Yeah, 100%, man. I hear you. I hear you. So, walk me through one of your lowest points in your trading and kind of what you learned from it.
All of my lowest points, they all happen because of the same reason, and it was more of just how I bounced back from them that kind of changed. So it would always be something along the lines of I get my part time because I was part time up until this year working because of school and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I'm part time. I'm getting my part time paychecks, and then half of it's getting blown in a live account, or half of that paycheck is getting blown to funded accounts. And it's like that would happen within the first week of getting paid, and then now I have a whole nother week just salty, right? Because I have no money. I have to go back to trading demo. I have
Mm-hmm.
to this that. So I think my first 2 years probably I got sick and tired of it at one point and took a good 4 or 5 months off. I
Mm.
think just it wasn't going anywhere. I was still watching like retail YouTube videos and just going crazy. So I started to really key in on what I was doing, and it was just the not quitting part that kind of got me through it. So because those days still come, like there'll be, well, not now, but like as of last year for sure, I'd put in money, lose the funded, or
Yeah.
I'd lose the live, or and then it's like, all right, I gotta wait 2 weeks until I can afford to do this again. So now I need to find something productive to do during the 2 weeks so that I'm not wasting them away like the money I just spent.
Right. So you said you took 3, 4 months off when that happened.
Yep.
When you took that break, when you came back to the charts, how was looking at the charts and executing your first trade?
Honestly, it was one of those things where it was at nighttime and I was like, I know this works. Like I know trading works. I know you can make money. I know it's possible. So let me just try it and see why I can't do it right now. And that was kind of what brought me back into it. So I took the time. I didn't start trading live right away. I really demoed it out for a little bit. Took
Yeah.
the time to learn, to reflect, and once I got over that hump, I never took a break again from there. So and now I'm about 4 years, almost 5 years deep.
Awesome, man. I like to hear that. I've never honestly taken a 3, 4 month break. Longest I took
Yep.
was like a week or two, and it was refreshing to come back. And it was like riding a bike
Yep.
again. You just hop on, you see your setup, you just execute, set your alerts, close the charts, and you know,
Yep. Yeah, those were the days before FTMO too. So back then I was pure losing money on an Owanda account, like 1 to 30 margin.
right?
Like yeah, I was getting destroyed back then. Yeah.
And you didn't have a group, right? You were just, it was you and YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, that was before even all that. It was just me, just YouTube, just sitting there. I had my MetaTrader 4. I think I had $150 in my account or something like that. And yeah, I blew that 150. Blew that 150. Believe it or not, that 150 it makes a deal to a part timer. So
Yeah, yeah, bro, it hurts. It doesn't matter the amount. It's literally money that you spent time making, right?
yeah, you just think about it. It's like, oh, there's another hour. There's another hour, and it's like it starts to add up in your head.
Oh man, and I could imagine, you're getting paid what, like bi-weekly, right?
Yeah, bi-weekly, so 2 weeks in between.
Oh man, that must hurt because you gotta
Yeah,
wait
like
two
if you
weeks.
take a loss, you're waiting 2 weeks to get to do that again. So
Because I cut hair and I have my own business, it's daily payouts, right? So if I want to get greedy, I could get greedy, but I try
you
not
go
to,
crazy.
obviously. So that must be annoying. 2 weeks to wait. Yeah, I hear you, man.
It was. I think it definitely hindered my learning because I didn't get to have as much live practice as I would have wished, or at least with the amounts that I wanted to be comfortable with. Because like got to the point where like now I don't even want to see an account below 500. Like I damn near won't even touch it. I'll just wait till I can put more money in it then I guess because it's just I'd rather wait till trade the 1,000. I can manage at least 1,000 plus, properly with the mind too.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was definitely a thing back then too, trying to turn that 150 to 1,000.
Little
So
flipper.
yeah, trying to be.
So this is the traditional final question. We always save the best for last. What was the best trade that you ever took that stands out in your memory?
It would probably just be some regular old day that just got absolutely carried by the news. Like
Mm.
there's been a couple that have been relatively the same, but more recently I've been able to maximize on them. So I think just recently, maybe a month ago, I placed a sell on US 30, and it just dropped through the floor. Like I set a real stop, but a theoretical TP,
Hmm.
and I blinked and it was already 4 times past my TP. So I was like, oh, cool. I think I closed half, set it break even, let the rest go, and that was my first day taking a big pay plus getting passive income for the rest of the day, like through my runner. So I think that's one of the days now that I'm trying to make more norm. And, it was very nice.
Yeah, man, it's like a recurring theme. I see a lot of people when they answer that question, they're like, I think I caught news. I don't remember. I think it was CPI
Yeah,
or something. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the move had nothing to do with news, but the news did just throw it right in my direction. So
Hey,
yeah,
man, that's great. We can't complain, right? We're pulling profits.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Any profit is a profit. Honestly, just not losing in itself is a happy day to me. So
Hey, man, 100%. And that's the humble attitude that's gonna make people profitable and keep them there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you, Brayden, for coming on, bro. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it. Again, this is another admin in my group. He's a great trader. If you guys have any questions, you can always hit him up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave all your information in the link below in the description, and that's where people can contact you at. Anybody that's in the private mentorship, you can see him in the Discord. Just shoot him a message anytime. Again, Brayden, thank you. Appreciate your time, bro.
yeah. Anytime, anytime.
With that being said, thanks for watching, guys, and happy trading.